Hi everyone. So in this video we are going to understand about inequalities. So majority of the students who start their preparation start with this chapter because this is type of a foundation and this concept will appear in a lot of chapters going ahead. So first to start, let's try to get familiarity with the symbol. So just tell me if there is 3 greater than equal to 3. Is this a true statement or a false statement? 3 greater than equal to 3. So what does this mean? This means either 3 is greater than 3 or 3 is equal to 3. So 3 is equal to 3, right? So this is a true statement. Just to get a feel of how this sign works, right? Greater than equal to 3. Either it's greater or equal to. So this is the basic example of it. Okay. Now one more case is just many of you might be knowing this, but suppose now there is x minus 3 equal to 0. Some people say कि equal to sign के उस side लेके जाओ sign change हो जाता है, like x is equal to plus 3. Actually how these things work is you add plus 3 on this side, you add plus 3 here, minus 3 cut, so x is equal to plus 3. This is how it actually works, and it is not like you go across the is equal to sign and the sign will change. Okay, so same applies in inequality also. So now there is a plus b is greater than some d, suppose. Okay, then a plus b plus c is greater than d plus c, because this is the same constant, we are adding on both sides of it. Okay, and there is suppose another case of a is greater than b. Now if we have AC, will it always be greater than BC? Will this be true? See, going about inequalities is that you have to always take an example in mind. Now suppose I have example 5 greater than 3, right? If C is greater than 0, suppose C is equal to 1. So it will be 5 into 1 greater than 3 into 1. For C greater than 0 it is true. But if C is minus 1, then what will happen? 5 into minus 1 greater than 3 into minus 1. Is this true? No, right? Minus 3 is greater than minus 5. So when C is less than 0, the sign will change. So what will happen? AC greater than 0 if C is greater than 0. If AC less than BC if C is less than 0, right? So inequalities is actually a very simple chapter. What you have to do is you have to just take an example and see if the scenario meets it or not. Anytime during the process if you are stuck anywhere. So this was just a very brief of it. We can proceed. Whenever you are starting a chapter, you have to always feel like why is studying inequalities important? Why is studying this chapter important? Okay, and always take a real life scenario. Now if suppose I take my scenario, I struggle with savings. So now suppose I say my salary is 40,000 per month is my salary, suppose, and I have to save minimum of 25,000 per month. By minimum I mean I have to save at least 25,000 per month. So how will I write this in equation? I will write this, I have 40,000 minus how much if I spend. I will save at least 25k per month, right? So what does x says? X will be, I take x, this side x has to be less than equal to 40,000 minus 25,000. That is x must be less than equal to, this sign will be like this, x will be less than equal to 15k. So what this means? This means that कि मुझे 15,000 से कम स्पेंडिंग्स करनी है तभी मैं 25,000 से ज्यादा सेव कर पाऊंगा. So here is how inequalities come into a real life scenario. If I have 40,000 salary and 25,000 is something that I have to save, or at least 25k or more than 25k, then how much should I save? How much should I spend? So 15k or less than 15k is what I can spend. So now I know, like, I need to have my spendings limited to this. Okay. So this was a simple example. Now this is the language of humans, right? Humans talk simple maths. Now try to understand, suppose maths has to talk to itself. What is the language of maths? Language of maths is equations, right? These are equation x minus 1, x minus 2. Now suppose this is a curve, okay? And you have to plot this on a graph. And it says x minus 1, x minus 2 has to greater than 0. Now maths wants an answer to this, because it wants to know ki on that plot, where will this plot be greater than 0? Where will this curve be less than 0? Maths wants to answer this question. So how will you solve this equation? How will you help maths? So here is where inequalities come into picture. We have to solve for such expressions, right? So we can proceed. Hopefully the real life scenario and the basic concept and understanding the importance of this will help you. So yeah, we can proceed with an example now directly. Now suppose x is greater than 4. How will you show this? You will say number line is our basics, right? Everyone knows number line. Now suppose this is 0, this is 4. What it says? X is greater than 4. So everything, so this will be a 0 because 4 is not included. Everything greater than 4 is included. So you have to just remember there are three things which will be belongs. So this is belongs to symbol which we use in maths. This is an open bracket, this is an closed bracket. Okay. So what we say, whenever 4 is not included, we say x belongs to open bracket 4, infinity will always come into open bracket. If suppose we change the expression to x greater than equal to 4, what will happen? Here 4 is included, so this will be like this. So we will say x belongs to closed bracket 4 comma infinity. Infinity won't be included. Okay. So this is a simple thing. Belongs to open bracket closed bracket, and this is the range. This is inequalities. Just this much we have to know. Belongs to open bracket closed bracket, we have to find the range. That's it. So let's go about some example. Now suppose there is a case, let's take a simple scenario. 7x minus 4 is greater than 0. How will you solve this? X is greater than plus 4 by 7, right? You just take a plot. You plot 4 by 7 here. And what you know? You know that this is 0 and you know the x has to be greater than it. So I directly write x is belongs to 4 by 7 comma infinity. This is not included because it is greater than it, right? So if maths asks me, if suppose I draw this line, for what all values this line is greater than 0. So any values of x from this to this line is greater than 0. So you are able to answer, interpret a line actually using this. Yeah. So let's take a complex example now. These were some simple examples. Now suppose there is the equation x minus 1 and x minus 4 is less than 0. How do you solve this? Right? Always try to have a intuition for maths. Now this is suppose A and this is suppose B. What is the expression sign trying to say? It is trying to say A B less than 0. So if there are expressions and it is less than 0, when can this thing happen? This thing can happen if, now let's try to plot this, okay? Now suppose there is A, there is B. When A is positive, B is positive, what will happen? It will be positive. When A is negative, B is positive, what will happen? It will be negative. When this is positive, this is negative, what will happen? It will be negative. When this is negative, what will happen? It will be positive. So हमारा range इतना ही है. Wherever one of the expression becomes negative and other one is positive, only those cases will be less than 0, right? I read the expression, I got a feel for the equation. Like एक कोई तो negative होना चाहिए इसमें. Now what do? Now I don't know any wavy curve method, I don't know a way of solving it. I'm just a normal kid solving the equation using just basic maths. So what I say कि हाँ यार एक पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए एक नेगेटिव होना चाहिए. Then I see x minus 1 x plus minus 4 less than 0. What do I say? I just say कि less than 0 होना चाहिए. So I know x minus 1, x minus 4. What do I say? I say x is equal to 2 डालो, just डाल दो. So what will happen? This will be 1 and this will be minus 2. So this is less than 0, right? X is equal to 1 if I put, I get 0, right? X is equal to minus 1 if I put, minus 1 minus 2 minus 2, and this will be minus 1 minus 5, less than 0. So I know that minus 1 and anything below minus 1 will be negative, right? 1 is 0, above 1 is positive. Now I try again. X is equal to 3. X is equal to 3, what is happening? 2 minus 1 less than 0. Yes, x is equal to 3. X is equal to 4, what is happening? This will be 0. X is equal to 5, what is happening? 4, 1, this is 0. Now whatever I can understand, what is happening is between 1 and 3, right? Between 1 and 3 it is working. Between 1 and 4 actually, between 1 and 4 it is working. So 1 is 0, anything above 1 will give me negative, anything below 4 will give me negative. So what can I say? I can say x belongs to 1, 4. Are you able to get an intuition of it? This is just by basic maths, two expressions. I know it is less than 0, I could figure out. Okay, I tried some random values, I got to know, okay, above 4 it will be always positive, below 1 it will be always negative. So between 1 and 4 are the values where this can be negative, right? So generally how maths works is people solve everything using basic maths, then they build processes around it. So then came a process around this. So people, what they did, they solved some 20-30 problems. They saw pattern in these problems and they came up with a generalization. So what I generally advise people is, you solve using basic maths, you get an intuition about how the process has come, then you can remember the process and quickly proceed with the problems actually. So what does the theory say? Theory says if RHS is 0, RHS is 0, this side, it is 0. Coefficient of x has to be positive. Coefficient of x has to be positive. What do? You plot the roots on line. Then what do? You plot the roots on a line and then start with alternate positive, negative from right to left. So this is it. So RHS has to be 0. Always check. If it is not, we have to make it 0. Coefficient of x has to be positive. Plot the roots on the number line. Start with alternate positive, negative from right to left. I will come up with a difficult example for it so that you are able to grasp this. This is the equation we solved. Then what maths did is, they saw 20-30 examples and they saw that this is a rule which will always work. RHS 0, coefficient of x positive, plot the roots on number line, start with positive, negative, alternate from right to left. Let's run through an example quickly. Okay, this is directly going to be a tricky example. Okay, let's first solve the same example. Okay, x minus 1, x minus 4 is, what do we, x minus 1, x minus 4 is less than 0, right? Now what does our rule say? RHS is 0, rule number 1 satisfied. Second rule says coefficient of x is positive, rule number 2 satisfied. What rule number 3 says? Plot zeros on a number line. What is the 0 of this? 1. What is the 0 of this? 4. Now what does the rule say? It says here rightmost section is positive, then it alternate positive, negative, positive. So what does this say? And it is less than, no equal to sign. So this is like this, this is like this, this is like this. So what is the fourth? It says x belongs to 1, 4. Why 1, 4? Because this is less than. These 2 points are not included. Done. I came up with my answer within a second. So that's how you solve it. Now let's come up with a tough example. So this is 4 minus x square, x minus 3, x plus 1, x square minus 3x minus 4. This is a problem, okay? And maths is like, after you understand theory up to a certain point, then you have to explore as much problems as possible, and as you explore more problems, you run across more variations. So this is a problem. Now first thing, we have to find the factors, because what we need to find the zeros. What first we say, okay, this is greater than equal to 0. Rule number 1, RHS is 0, done. Rule number 2 is coefficient of x is positive. No, not positive. Rule number 2 is not satisfied. So I'll do this in the next step. Rule number 2 is not fine. What is rule number 3? I have to plot the zeros. Can I plot the zeros of this? No, because there are x square is there. How do I know what will be the 0 for x square? So I need to factorize this, right? So this equation requires some making it into a simpler format. So what do? I do 2 minus x, 2 plus x. I broke this down into factors. Then I do x minus 3. Then I do x plus 1. Then what do? Then I do factorize this, okay? This will be x minus 4, x plus 1. What have I done here? I have brought them into factors format. Now I go to point number 2, I need positive. So I do minus x minus 2. I brought the minus sign outside of this. X plus 2, x minus 3, x plus 1, x minus 4, x plus 1 greater than equal to 0. Now what? I have to multiply minus 1 on both sides. Minus 1, minus 1. So remember that AC greater than BC. If C is less than 0, the sign will change. Why the sign will change? We have already gone through it. So sign will change. This will be this. This will be now less than equal to 0. Right? Now I have to solve this. How will I solve this? I do x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 3, and I see here x plus 1 the whole square, x minus 4, and this is less than equal to 0. Now again I have to plot everything. What do I plot? I say x is equal to 4. Now this is minus 1, right? This is minus x is equal to 4, x is equal to 3, x is equal to minus 2 plus 2, x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to minus 2, okay? Now what does my formula say? My formula say rightmost positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Now be very careful. This is a trick question. X plus 1 square is 2 times here. So what will ideally happen is this negative minus 1 you have to mention 2 times. Minus 1 will become positive, positive will become negative. So it will be negative here and it will be positive. Were you able to identify this? Why it became negative to positive? Minus 1 is 2 times, so write minus 1 2 times. Minus 1 became positive, positive again become negative, right? Now you will say this rule was not mentioned earlier. How will I know this? We will come across it. Now there is a generalized rule which I will just let you know. Plus negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative. It will be here positive. It is less than equal to 0. Less than is this side. This side. Then negative is this side. Again this entire side. Right? This is negative. This is negative. So what will I say? I will say x belongs to, this is 3 is included, 4 won't be included because it is in denominator, right? 4 won't be included. So it is 3. 3 comma 4. 3 is included here, so closed bracket, included, so closed. 4 union, what we have, 2 and minus 1 both, 2 and minus 2 both are included, so close bracket, minus 2 comma minus 2 close bracket, right? So this is how we solve it. You need to be careful while plotting graph, have clarity here. Okay, so these are the ways in which you come across different problems in maths. Now if this square problem you had never solved, it might be you would never come across this scenario, right? So what does the generalized say? Generalized is everything same, RHS 0, coefficient of x positive, plot zeros, start with alternate positive and negatives. Only thing you have to remember, if the power is even, keep it same, no alternative. If the power is odd, it will be positive negative, it will be alternative. Okay, what do I mean by power positive negative? Now suppose here x plus 1, right? X plus 1 the whole square, here power is positive, so the sign will remain same, negative negative, right? Now how do I plot this? I plot this minus 1, so what will happen here? It will be negative here, suppose it will be negative here also, sign will remain same if the power is positive. If the power is even is what we have to remember. If the power is odd, if it was like this, then what would happen? It would have become negative, it would happen positive. This is also you can delete here, minus plus minus plus. So if it is odd, it will alternate. If it is even power, it will remain the same as the previous. There won't be any alternation in sign. So this is the generic Wavy Curve method. This is the inequalities. So hopefully you'll get a feel, intuition of this. You all can comment around if you have any problems, doubts around it. Yeah. Have a good day guys. Bye.